usually do every Wednesday meditation. So
Yeah.
yesterday it came to me. One of the things we are talking about this news media where this girl killed somebody who were in the YouTube. It was like a YouTube workplace or
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
so I have had problem even with Google, like YouTube. One of the guy who my husband is a sponsor. This guy works in Smart.
Yeah.
So he puts up a YouTube video. I swindled him of security deposit, which he never even paid.
Ah.
And so I actually had to go to court and we had to have a jury hearing. And the judge was asking, why are you hearing jury? I said, I don't believe in one man making a decision. I said, God always
Yeah.
is present when there is three or four people. So everybody laughed at me. All the jury thought like I was hilarious. But then when I started telling them by keeping him like subsidized,
Yeah.
I lost $3,500 over 3 year period. And then he leaves the apartment and pretends that I gave him a security deposit. And he puts up a YouTube video, and his comment comes up first. So, like, he didn't even have to earn anything to go up. So the judge says to me, he has right of speech, so you can do nothing about it. I'm saying, so I went to my local police station, Holliston police station, and I said, what can I do? This is not right, right? Like he's lying, and
Yeah.
on top, like Google puts him on top. So the police told me, do a. They used to have something called rebuttal video you could do instead of comment.
Oh, rebuttal. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
They took out that feature for now. The
Ah.
right now the feature is gone.
Ah.
So they actually allowed me to do rebuttal video, and I showed them step by step how many violations he did. He didn't pay rent,
Yeah.
and the housing department was given. See, housing department gives a certain amount, okay?
Yes.
But he is accountable for $146,
Yeah.
and he couldn't pay.
Okay.
Okay, and then the housing they lost their funding, so his part went up to 192. He refused to pay.
That's it. Though. Like,
Because yeah, but the thing is, even that part, he says your house is not worth it. So he makes so in the end, what happens is he owes me money, and plus he sues me. And my husband is so interesting. My husband is his sponsor, so he decides to handle it himself.
Okay.
So I get a penalty to pay $1,600, and it comes in my name. And he says you need to handle it. I said what? And so I was in the hospital. I was on call. I'm like telling my friends. I said, this is crazy. My husband says he's the sponsor. He allows his sponsee to come and live, and I'm helping him for 3 years. Now I get a bill for $1,600. So my friend was very smart. She says, oh, I rent houses. She says, if he's on um, Section 8,
Yeah.
she says, we don't even take security deposit. What are you talking about? So I said, oh, I didn't realize it. So I went to Framingham Housing and they gave me a letter saying he didn't have to pay security deposit because I directly contracted with him. So I took it to the court and I proved to the jury. Initially, they were all laughing, by accent and other stuff. Afterwards, nobody looked me up. Everybody kept their head down.
Yeah, you got all your information right.
And then in the end, they threw out my case. So I asked them, can you take out from YouTube? They refused. So I wrote to Google. I said, can you take it down? They said they can do nothing. So, like, what I'm saying is, people, when they don't help each other, it gets to be a problem. So that's why, like, today morning when I heard about the shooting on YouTube, I was listening and it said this girl was attacked by a group.
Yes.
And she complains to the police many times. They are making very, very nasty comments. So yesterday I was doing meditation. He actually does excellent work.
Yes.
But whenever he comes live on, there will be 4 or 5 people, 700, let's say 700 to 1,000 participants will be there on live. Okay, everybody will be praising him. 4 people will get on and they'll call him bastard again and again and again and again. They will interrupt the meeting. And so yesterday, I was thinking I really need to do something. For some reason, I think everything is coming together. So I decided I'm going to create a YouTube etiquette channel.
Yeah.
And I'm going to create YouTube leadership skills where we are going to call out. I'm going to create @ handles. There are 2 handles I found one guy, somebody, he calls himself Sendil. That's the one that came up. And the interesting part is all the nice people I cannot remember. The nasty one, like I can remember, like which is like kind of sad, right? So so this guy, like says how such a piece of shit this guy is and stuff. So like I'm like thinking, what I need to do is call him up and do validation therapy. If he says he's a bastard, I'm going to say, hey, I have my fact check. He does have a father. He does have a mother. So like what I'm saying is just like how I do behavior therapy. You get online. I'm going to put out the video again and again and again. I feel we have to reset it. So today, interestingly, when the YouTube shooting happened, it reminded me again like how aggravating it is for people when you make. So all my YouTube settings, I made it so that no comment can be.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
So they can either like or dislike, but they cannot do comments. I feel I don't need to know what they think of me. It's not my business. Keep your comments to yourself. It doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. It doesn't matter to me. So I decided I'm going to create a YouTube leadership team. If you want to be part of ours, join us. Every Saturday I'm going to teach this. Doesn't matter what it is. What I want to do is give an assignment so you guys will watch, and you will watch what was said, and I'm going to say these are the app handles, and how would we create like a rebuttal.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm going to make it like really fun, because what I feel is I have a patient in a nursing home. She's paraplegic. She can only use her brain. So everybody she'll say, go kill yourself. That's all she can write because she's so miserable. These people don't even have a life. And so they use YouTube to vent out, But unfortunately, it aggravates other people because they assume these guys are normal. So mentally ill people don't even challenge them. So I need to figure out like strategy, strategy for this type of comments and stuff, because today it is a wake-up call for world. You cannot just like that go on another person's channel and keep saying that. But that doesn't mean I'm condoning this girl's behavior. I'm not saying she's right. But if people are just on the brink of falling apart, right, you can use that moment to trigger them to like explode. And I say, if you cannot, just like the thumper, right? We cannot say anything nice.
Don't say anything.
Don't say anything. It's like so simple. Why is it so important for you to talk when it's not even warranted,
And it's the mentally unstable people near you, it's virtual reality.
Yeah.
To these people, so unstable, it's so good to be real reality. We want to bring them to that breaking point to where near you we see a virtual reality. There's a crowd that never sees people in their lives, so But
that's the same with catfish too,
No, absolutely.
I am sometimes appalled at like. Did you see yesterday? Did you watch?
No. There's a new one. Yeah, I gotta see it. No, I didn't see it.
See, the thing is how much nasty they are. They are trying to teach them a lesson.
Oh yeah.
So they take the catfish, like they are like the, what is it called, the reaper.
Yes, those two guys. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I like it. No, what I'm saying is the catfish.
Yeah.
I'm saying sometimes some of them are very mean.
Oh, absolutely.
So I feel like, hey, if your agenda is to build yourself, that's like, you have a poor self-image, that's one thing, but to be vengeful is like, so one of the things, last night I was watching the sermon with my teacher. His topic last night is about jealousy.
Yeah.
It was very nice. So what he said was, in Tamil, they call it poramai. That's the word they use. Perumai means pride. So when you use perumai, it means I'm proud of it.
Okay.
Poramai means I'm not able to accept that space for pride. So unable to be proud.
Gotcha.
That's the correct word in India they use.
Yes.
Right? Isn't it very interesting?
Yeah,
Whereas here it is jealousy.
Yeah.
But it is in India, one is called pride, the other one is unable to hold pride. So the holding space is empty.
Jealousy in
And so he was explaining it in a very nice way. So actually it was in that language, Tamil language. So he says, when people want what you have, but they cannot give you credit for what you went through, it creates that space not able to hold proud.
Okay.
And he says that creates jealousy.
Yeah,
and that's when he explained the word. I didn't even connect the pride with not having pride until he split it. And when he split it, I could see, oh, okay, I get it. So it was very fascinating. So I think people who are making comments have no skills
No,
except not to comprehend.
absolutely.
And but they want the same attention. They're very needy because the needy space, interestingly, comes from the jealous, like a lustful heart, and the attention seeking is from the throat that tries to compare.
Yeah,
So two energy centers are involved. So you could see how vengeful they get,
yeah, absolutely.
because the sarcasm is through the throat, right?
Yeah.
What it is, sarcasm is sark, which is flesh, chasm, cutting deep.
Ah, I get it.
Yeah,
That's
because
interesting.
that's what you want them to wound and bleed so you can have joy. The
So
thing.
sad.
So that's sadistic, right?
That
But
is sad.
but unfortunately, and interestingly, right, in India, there is this avatar called Ram. Have
Yeah.
you heard about Ram?
No.
He actually portrayed how to be the perfect human being
Yeah.
by setting up example with living within boundaries.
Okay.
So he was the first one who started monogamy.
Yeah.
Like he stayed committed to one relationship.
Yeah.
He never got tempted. He did everything his parents asked of him. Did schooling like them.
Yeah.
Did like everything perfect, perfect, perfect. Still, people picked on him.
Yeah.
I'm like saying. So his stepmother, sends him to the forest so her son can live and stuff. So historically, it happened. They could prove astrologically he lived in 5,000 114 BC,
Okay.
BCE, they call it. I don't know what
Okay.
it is. So because in India, the birth is tracked according to the star system.
Okay.
So when they mapped it into a software, they could put exactly where his location was, where he was born, what age he was.
Oh,
So they tracked he was 25 years when he got married. So it was amazing because in India, astronomy was huge in the olden days
I
anyway.
get that.
So there is a big political fight in India.
Mhm.
So the politicians want to discredit history.
Yeah.
They say it never happened. These are all false information and stuff. And the Christians, there is a converted Christian group whose agenda is to disprove because they took over the land 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
They believe that's the only way to heaven.
Yeah.
What doesn't exist, 6,000 years ago, for them, they cannot comprehend.
Yeah.
There is a guy. This is where we spoke about classic behavior, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
last week, it's interesting. We are coming back same place where you said some Indians are nasty.
Yeah.
Some Indians are nice. But I'm telling you, it's not about culture. Even here, some people are very nasty, some people are nice. But it all comes back to classic class. Who is class,
Yeah.
right? So this guy, right? Like I saw a procession going on by Christians.
Yeah.
He has a picture of this rock and he's beating him with a shoe on his face. I'm like saying it's incomprehensible to me. Like I'm saying, hey, you can have another opinion which
Yeah,
says
but
this
why
is
you-
not. But why are you humiliating something which is not even your culture?
And other people care about it.
Yeah, so it's like very hurtful, right? Not only single. And the weird part is, right, in India, we have saints who cannot tolerate nonsense. Seriously, in Buddhism, this guy goes, you should watch that video. In Buddhism, this guy, he knows this guy is a master who can levitate and
Yeah.
he can stay up on a little bit high. So this guy, producer
Yeah.
from America, goes and he tracks him down. Everybody's scared to show him where he lives because he is capable of killing people. He tells them, if you give out my space, tomorrow you'll be dead. And people have been found dead on the floor.
No way.
Because,
Really?
see, the higher beings have the power. They don't use the power,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean they are weak. They are being compassionate. So my teacher says, from now on, I'm stopping the crap. He says, it's done. The politician cannot run their agenda. He says, war is because two bullies are fighting.
Yeah.
And the people are used to justify their fight. So you could see it another way, So he says, when you make a choice based on your opinion,
Yeah.
versus reality, that's where you go wrong. You are not developing leadership skills. So this guy, right, who was beating the
John.
man's face, was hit by a bus in 48 hours and dead.
No way.
So what I'm saying is, why are you thinking you are better when you have no idea what people's skills are? You have no idea who you are fighting. So then in India, do you know Rajiv Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, and Gandhi?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Oh, absolutely.
Gandhi's family married Nehru's family.
Yeah.
Okay, so the daughter of Nehru, whose husband is Gandhi's son,
Yes.
ruled first, and she died, and Rajiv Gandhi came, and then Rahul, who's the son. But unfortunately, Rahul has taken a stance: God doesn't exist, like Hinduism. So he started abusing Indian teachers,
Yeah.
and he vocalized it, and they put in prison my teacher, like old teachers and all, in prison now for no reason.
Yeah.
They pretended they were sexually discriminated, like all false,
Oh yeah, yeah.
just
of
to
course.
get that agenda.
Government.
So my then I was watching a news where this Rajiv Gandhi tries to get blessings of this teacher who was impersonated.
Yeah.
So he assumes like you can go like just like Christianity, ask for forgiveness or.
Okay.
But
Yes.
he's activated many people because of him. Like many people are already activated. So he goes on the biggest priest. He's in his 80s, I think. He said, "You don't have my blessing. Just get out of here."
Oh, that's
He
awesome.
says, "The minute you split a country based on your opinion, you're not welcome here."
Oh, that's good.
And it seems his media wanted to control it so it wouldn't get out. But because of social media, it got out.
Oh, good. That's
So
awesome.
everybody, so like what I'm saying is, you cannot hide under your hide anymore.
No.
Because your shit is going to come out. It's like.
True.
So I am so proud of social media because people are, and that's how we got the bomber. Boston
Yeah,
bomber.
yeah. Oh,
Right?
absolutely. I remember
So
that.
I feel it's only a matter of time before we correct ourselves. And YouTube has to make some rules.
Yes.
Actually, Yahoo, I used to be very interested in them
Yes.
until in China, they had a movement where the younger kids stood against the government.
Yeah.
And they gathered like momentum. And Chinese government asked Yahoo to figure out the IP address of where this motivator inspiration teacher was. Yahoo gave it out.
Oh, that's big
And
trouble,
I
isn't
said
it?
afterwards, I am not going
Yeah,
to.
you
I
can't get that
I
stuff
never
out.
ever go on Yahoo site anymore. But then they actually recanted. They said we were forced to follow their rules. My husband says, "Oh, if you do rule in another country," I said, "No." I said, you don't give up your morality.
No, that.
So I find I banned Yahoo from mine, but I only go with Google. But I feel Google also need to act appropriate. I feel the YouTube stuff is getting out of hand. And yesterday I decided, I'm going to create YouTube leaders, and that became my number one. And the second thing, so I'm going to create 3 channel lists.
Yeah.
The YouTube leadership is based on 12-step program, and
Yeah.
my sponsor is my teacher. And through me, I'm going to create the sponsorship, and you will create your sponsorship. We are going to create a lineage. This is number one. And the number 2 is Dr. Bob Marshall, excellent in nutrition. Excellent. Most of my 90% of my nutrition teaching, I learned it from him.
Gotcha.
But what I have found is he says number one reason is digestion.
Yes.
And I agree with him 100%. But I also find there is toxins that's coming in.
Yeah.
And I feel detox, I am doing it another way and I'm getting better results.
Gotcha.
So he only talks about the products he sells, but not as a neutral. I love him, and I feel what I'll do is all his audio, he's done it through radio.
Yeah.
I'm going to create a YouTube playlist. I'll pick one of his topics, we'll talk about it, and how to tweak it.
Okay.
That's all. So it's not my agenda to sabotage him,
yes,
but to enhance him. What I'm saying is, in addition, in my experience, so that's my second channel list I'm doing. And my third channel list, I want to create cannabis to come to the next level, business, research. And so I feel by this, I can create my energy around perfecting that.
Yes.
And next year I can go forward. This way I can be flexible.
Yeah.
So if you want to join every Saturday.
I'm going to try sometime. We got the kids and they're crazy and stuff, but I hope.
Yeah, but remember, you don't need to be in person.
Yeah,
see,
you
that's
can
what
turn it on and listen.
No,
and
Zoom. I can create online. You can do YouTube live.
Gotcha.
So just to, if in case you have certain time, I'm going to create a poll.
Yeah.
And whatever time. Now, usually we do it around 11 to 1 o'clock.
Gotcha.
11 a.m. because that's when most of our patients show up and
Yeah,
researchers show up. And I feel I'm going to give tasks to everybody because transport license, independent transporter license, you need up 2 people to transport now,
oh,
business to business, the
Yeah.
cannabis. So that's a very nice license to apply for. And I feel like, we can create a cooperative team
yeah,
so that you can be a backup person because just like how they do transfer money in banks,
yeah.
how you need to have two, same thing for cannabis. They have decided to do two driver
Interesting. Yeah, for
licensing.
safety.
Yes, which
That
kind of makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like that's a simple license to hold. You can I have found modular structures that runs between 35,000 to maybe 75,000. But I feel it all depends on what you're transporting. Are you transporting a lab? Are you transporting medicine? Are you transporting herbs?
Yeah.
So I feel it's a very nice niche we can
Yeah.
work on. The other one is clone nursery, like I said, which I'm going to start as a research.
Yeah.
But what you're learning from me, you can apply. You know, so and the third one is cooperative because each one is allowed to hold three license. So I'm going to go through that process just to understand.
Yeah.
So you can be a transporter in that cooperative.
Gotcha.
Researcher in that cooperative. So that way, we hold. So I feel like there are lots of possibilities. Real estate in the cooperative. So I think things are opening up.
I agree. I agree.
And
with
I
that.
feel there's a big portal that is open.
The Massachusetts wide open. I can't wait to see what happens. I hope
So I'm hoping I want to see what. So they said what all I'm going to apply for. These three I applied for.
Yeah, that's what.
But it's just an introduction. They didn't really have a complete application.
Yeah.
Just preliminary vetting.
Yeah.
So I finished my application on April 3rd, 2017. 12:07, my application was complete. They sent an invite 12:01 and midnight, and I was watching my teacher's seminar, and that's how he says sleep is a myth. He says if you are a superhuman being, you need to wake up and not worry about having so much sleep. He says the world programmed you into thinking you need that much sleep. And that kind of makes sense because when you unprogram or unmask your learning, it doesn't bother me. I went to bed at 12:30, had a very effective sleep, woke up very fresh. That's one of his rules. If you wake up and you're feeling fresh, he says you have enough sleep. And I usually sometimes get manic anyway, during full moon, so I can do that. And then I will go into like a typical artist, and I'll go to like a blast state, and then again surge blast state.
That's interesting.
Yeah.